Yeah. Oh, I maybe should have just marshaled.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back. This is Mark, aka Chibikawaii, and I'm joined in the booth with Gabe, aka Calimdir, and we have yet another exciting match for you guys in our 6th and final round of the ETS before we cut to top 8. So not the last match that we'll be covering, just the last one before the top 8. Gabe, do you want to go through these decks by Toth and BruisedByGod?
Sure. So first of all, this is exciting because we get to see Toth playing, which I haven't seen in a while, and BruisedByGod, always an innovator. So here we have Xenon Ramp, which is very different from the Xenon Killers deck that we saw Bradykin on, and even more different from the deck that we saw Shed on. So interesting thing here, Praxis is a solid like metagame staple, and then Xenon was kind of like this bigger version of Xenon has kind of come back to combat Argenport in a way because it has some actual removal and interaction. It kind of showed up more when before Tavrod, honestly, when Bart was a thing more. So that's what it was combating. But now we see these two decks facing off, and I'm wondering, does the Xenon deck sacrifice a lot of its, the heart of the vault and all that stuff? Does it sacrificing that late game power for removal? Is that going to hurt it too much that it won't be able to win, or will the removal be flexible enough that it'll just be able to push through damage?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Like the ramp designator is kind of interesting because yes, you have Power Stone, and you have secret pages, but I would have expected to see maybe some initiates there, just as another way to make sure that you can like turn 2 secret pages. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of taking out Initiative Sands, but it is the only piece of ramp that is interactable, really.
Sure.
So I understand it from that perspective. I think we're ready to get started on this match, though.
Yeah.
But this hand looks great from BruisedByGod.
Yeah, it does some things. He's going to be able to curve into Temple. Well, actually, do you play Power Stone or do you play Temple Scrap on turn 2?
Good question. So if he plays Power Stone on turn 2, he can not. He'll be able to play turn 3 Sandstorm Time, which I think is probably more valuable than playing the Temple Scribe.
Yeah, especially with Toth leading out here with an Initiate of the Sands, ramping on its ramp, like just so you can keep pace with all the ramping.
So now that I've had a little bit better of a look at the deck list, I actually really like the Xenon deck here because of Champion of Mystery, right? Champion of Mystery is an absolute bomb in this matchup, right? Can't get killed by Obliterate, doesn't trade or like can block anything that Toth wants to play, and is card advantage.
Yep. The only problem is the influence requirements in order to turn on the different halves of the champion. Pretty heavy. It's a 6, right? 6 influence?
Yeah, it's 5 or 6. I think it's 6. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, but again, this deck is has the secret pages and has a an okay amount of draw between the Vara's Favor and the Temple Scribe in order to, and the Waystone Infuser. All right, it can happen. It can happen. I believe.
So things that I do like about the Xenon deck doesn't include Annihilate, which is really not that powerful in the meta as we've seen, except for against Xenon. And what is? Hold on, is he targeting? Oh, that works.
Got
okay.
rid of the Power Stone. Okay.
But the thing that I don't like is that his only answer to most things is just Death Strike. He's got 4 Death Strike, and that's pretty much it. He's got the banishes, but those don't hit most of the big drops that Praxis comes down with.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And like, so just to elaborate a little bit more on that Power Stone play, the banish one on the Power Stone because Toth missed a power drop, right? Of course, Toth ripped a power as soon as BruisedByGod ended up banishing, but that would have completely stranded all of Toth's cards in his hand had that actually gone.
Yeah. So I'm interested here to see if he's going to, from from BruisedByGod. I'm interested to see if he plays Secret Pages next turn, or he just plays a Naked Mystic Ascendant. And if he does Secret Pages, I'm interested to see if he goes for Shadow or Time, because he might just want to move towards 6 Shadow and just get that unblockable damage, because 15 life is not a lot when you're taking 7 a turn.
Yeah, and you're also not guaranteed to actually, going with the time influence, right? You're not guaranteed to actually be hitting the player in order to trigger the draw, right? Whereas if you get unblockable, that definitely means you're getting at least 7 points of damage in.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason to go Time would be to, like, for super late game, you want to guarantee you get both. But that's, I don't think the game's going to go long enough for that to be relevant.
Yeah, I imagine next turn we will see probably a Naked Mystic Ascendant. I don't mind running the Mystic Ascendants out. I would almost rather a Mystic Ascendant get killed rather than my Champion of Mystery at this, like, given, I guess, and now they're up to 16. So a little less than the, so it's a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock.
But I mean, what is he going to kill the Champion of Mystery with?
Yeah.
It takes a lot to kill this Champion of Mystery. It's going to require. Sure. Does Toth have Xenon Initiation in his deck?
Toth does not have a Xenon Initiation. Yeah. Actually, is this?
Yeah, I think it might be the exact same list as that we. Oh no, he's got Groundbreakers, but I think the main deck is like very similar. I think the Initiates might not have been in the other deck.
No, I think, but past that, very, very close. Oh, Amber Acolytes too. I don't think we're in the last deck.
That Komodo is playing, right?
Yeah. Very, very close. These two, this is huge. These 2 Secret Pages are not only going to draw the Mystic 2 cards from the Mystic Ascendant, making it an 8/8. It's also going to be able to give Champion of Mystery unblockable starting next turn.
Yeah, this is a big deal here. I think Toth is maybe getting a little desperate because he sees the inevitability of this, of the Mystic Ascendant and the Champion.
Yeah. However, Champion. Well, Toth's got a very interesting choice, right? Do you torch the Titan and get your flyer back, or do you torch the giant 7/7 that is menacing? Granted, the 7/7 is what, 2 influence away. Oh, this is huge. So now he's going to be able to play. Yeah, he's going to be able to play his Mystic, play the banner, draw 2 cards this way, go ahead and put him up to the 5, and then next turn he'll be able to actually turn. BruisedByGod will be able to turn on both parts of the Champion of Mystery. This is huge, absolutely huge.
I'm not really in favor of attacking with both. Well, okay, it does make it really hard for him to block favorably. Yeah. He has to choose one and lose 2 things.
I'm 100% okay with this, right? Because both those Mystic Ascendants are going to be 12/12s next turn, or have the potential of being 12/12s. So just getting more units off the board is completely fine. Even if they chump, that's completely fine. Even if they double block on the Champion, that's fine because you have the 2 12/12s. If they double block on one of the Mystic Ascendants, then you're still going to have an unblockable 7/7 and then a 12/12. Like, I think you're fine no matter what when you're doing these attacks.
Yeah. BruisedByGod is in an absolutely commanding position, obviously, right? I don't think there's any way. I mean, not anyway, but there's very, very, very few ways that Toth comes back into this game, and I think what he needed to do was actually torch the Champion, and because
I agree.
I don't think attacking is really something he can think about. He really needs to just hope that he drew answers to these Mystic Ascendants, which he just didn't. And now Obliterate's no longer an answer, and he just doesn't have an answer for the rest of the game. So now he may have made the right choice in that. He went for the race, and he is like, 1 top deck away from lethal. But I'm pretty sure he's just dead here. So
yeah, and that banish really seals it up because you can block. He would have been able to block so that he would have lived.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't have been enough on the crack back to actually kill him with that banish.
Yeah, I actually, the more I think about it, I actually quite like Toth's line, especially not knowing BruisedByGod's hand.
Yeah,
because he did set up lethal next turn if he top deck, which is about as good of an ask as you can, about as good as you can ask of him.
Yeah, I think Toth. I actually completely agree. I think Toth made the correct line in getting rid of the Sandstorm Titan, freeze up the flyer. Also, you're going to start reducing the cost of things on top of your deck. So maybe if you get like an Obliterate reduced, it's going to do some good things. But yeah. But congratulations to BruisedByGod pulling that one out there. Got himself into a situation where it was going to be really hard for him to lose, and held on to it. So now we're moving over to sideboards. What do we since we can see what Toth is doing? What do you think? What do you think BruisedByGod's going to be doing here?
So on BruisedByGod's side, the more I think about this matchup, I really like Xenon. I really like Xenon more in the meta now because I think it's better against Argenport, and I think it's pretty good in this matchup because you can afford to play so many big dudes because you have some reasonable answers to aggro. Post board, he's got Stewards, Annihilates, Xena Initiations, and Sabotage. That is a nice, neat sideboard. That is what I like to see. He knows what cards he wants, and he has 4 of them. Sabotage is the only card that I don't really see a great use for. I don't really think he wants to change very much, honestly. The cards that aren't doing a lot here are Banish. So he might be trying to maybe take out Banish for something like Annihilate, because all the Banish targets are annihilatable, except for Diogo. And he might be trying to, because he doesn't care about Power Stone. And he also might want Steward of the Past, just because it's a good blocker.
Yeah, and I guess the answer is Dawnwalker.
Yeah, answer's Dawnwalker, can attack through big dudes.
Cutting for it though.
So yeah, cutting. That's a good question, right? Maybe you don't need some of the early game. Maybe you don't need some of the ramp. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, Mystic Ascent is kind of slow, but I think it's okay in this matchup. Waystone Infuse is kind of slow, but I think it's okay in this matchup. It might be something even just like Dark Return that would get cut, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I feel like the Xenon initiations are the ones that you need to bring in. Well, no, never mind. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, ignore that. Ignore the initiation. I was like, we get. I had Argenport still stuck in my head, so for some reason I was like, oh, toss on Argenport now. That was not the case, so ignore that. I still think I like but I guess the Annihilate for the Banish swap is pretty good, as you already mentioned. Yeah, all right. I guess I don't know if you need to change that much.
Yeah, I might. I'm just trying to decide in my head. I'm sure BruisedByGod knows better than me. What's more valuable, Steward of the Past or Annihilate? Because Steward of the Past, like Annihilate, is really great for Carnosaur, which might be coming in. Mm-hmm. Also, interesting trend. Carnosaur comes in every match. Probably should be in the main board. Anyways, so Annihilate's a pretty good answer to that. But Steward of the Past just always is a deadly unit that can attack through blockers or trade, and it's just going to do those things always. Whereas Annihilate sometimes doesn't do anything. But I think they're in game, right? Yeah,
they are in game. BruisedByGod has a pretty interesting hand. They're going to be able to ramp quite well here. Well, if they start hitting their power drops, and they're going to be ramping pretty crazy. If not, they're going to be able to use their ramp as pseudo power drops. Toth's hand, looking over there, seems pretty strong too. It's going to be, they will be able to do turn 3 Dawnwalker into potentially a turn 4 Firemaw.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think his stream is lagging for me a little bit, so I'm behind. But he went for the Dawnwalker over. I see. He couldn't have played Power Stone. Okay, because he was stuck on depleted power. Okay. Also, just a quick note: Toth does have the Predatory Carnosaurs in his main deck, but I've just been seeing it not in the main deck in a couple matches.
Okay. I thought you were referencing just Praxis in general, but and I guess the Xenon players have been guilty of that as well. But we see an attack in from Dawnwalker against BruisedByGod, deciding not to block. Shocker, really. Imagine just leaving up that 3 power for the secret pages. You could have Ironed in, but that seems kind of loose. in order to, like, in response to Dawnwalker attacking. Maybe we'll see an IN at the end of the turn, but I kind of like just ramping and then getting out that Predatory Connoisseur and just fighting that Fire Maw.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That Carnosaur is a huge tempo swing here. And by the time Toth can get his Carnosaur out, BruisedByGod might have Annihilate or Death Strike up, which is going to be big.
Yeah, because we're still a couple turns away from Toth actually being able to do that.
Yeah. Toth does not have the ramp. He could play the Power Stone now and then be able to do it next turn, but he could do it next turn anyway. So, yeah. But the Dawnwalker, so the Temple Scribe, there's a really small, minor, not important debate about whether it's okay to block Dawnwalker with Temple Scribe. And you have to ask yourself, what the hell is Temple Scribe even doing in this matchup? Probably nothing ever. So, it's a decision that barely matters. But it makes them have a trigger for Dawnwalker. So if you're really trying to bait out something like in situations like if you're Combre, sometimes blocking is really great because then you can get something else out for Harshal and stuff like that. So sometimes blocking with Temple Scribe is the right thing, even if they're going to get value out of it.
All right, so here's the Carnosaur coming down, trying to get rid of that Infuser. However, Annihilate going to be like, hey, buddy, what's going on? I see you're monocolored. I'd like to kill you.
And Predatory Carnosaur obliges. No choice on their part at all.
No. Oh, wow. So here we see Waystone Infuser doing some good work there. Mystic Ascent was able to be played, and since Power have Warp now, play to Power off the top, go ahead and immediately getting Mystic Ascended up to a 6/6 and then drawing an additional power. So now we know that BruisedByGod is guaranteed to at least draw 2 cards next turn.
Yeah, I'm slowly morphing into Lights Out Ace. I have fallen in love with Waystone Infuser. I think that card is super underrated. And it's showing how good it is here, just in combination with Mystic Ascendant. It's just a ton of card advantage.
Yeah, and I really, really like this block by BruisedByGod. BruisedByGod was initially thinking about blocking with the Predatory Connoisseur. However, I would say the Predatory Connoisseur a little bit higher value than the Waystone Infuser at this point, especially since you already had another power in hand and a Temple Scribe. So I liked switching that up, and then because especially that attack, probably something to follow up with it that Toth is going to be able to answer. So I think it was a good read by Bruised.
Yeah, absolutely. This is played very well by Bruised at every point, holding up the Annihilate and etc. So something about this matchup is the benefits of playing Praxis is you get the reach that Praxis provides, whereas Xenon has no reach. But Praxis, like at every point in the game, BruisedByGod has been able to keep up or get ahead, and so Toth just can't make use of reach at all. He can't really get in very much damage. He's gotten in 10, whereas BruisedByGod has gotten in 0, which definitely is indicative of who is the aggressor in this matchup. But still, it's not enough compared to a typical matchup that Praxis wants to see.
No, not at all. And then Champion Mystery off the top doesn't have unblockable yet, but certainly a great draw still.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that Waystone Infuser is going to help him get there.
Yep. Virtual card advantage, being able to play it off the top of the deck there. Not showing a power. However, this Temple Scribe might reveal a power off the top. It did not. So Mystic Ascent is still only going to be a 10/10 for the moment.
Yeah, and I really like BruisedByGod's position here. I mean, obviously, anytime you have a Mystic Ascendant that is unanswered, it's like, oh yeah, I feel great. It's easy to say that, but but I mean, he has multiple threats that gain advantage as they sit out on the board. He's got removal that can actually answer Toth's threats, whereas Toth does not have that in Praxis. Praxis just does not have kill a unit available to it. So it's just looking very good. Toth is going to have to maneuver very carefully to try and get in as much damage as he can.
And so this is interesting. So we know that Toth doesn't have a flyer in hand, but this attack with Sandstorm Titan seems like they want to be able to draw their Soulfire Drakes and actually have them do something. How it seems like a seems a little odd. And I think Bruise is picking up on that. It's like, no, I'm not going to kill your Sandstorm Titan for you.
I really like the way Toth is playing this, right? He obliterated the Ion, which gets, stops Ion from ultimating, but it also stops BruisedByGod from gaining any life whatsoever. And this attack from Sandstorm Titan is super safe, right? Because it's not super safe. It's a huge bluff, is what it is, right? Because it doesn't actually have anything. But if BruisedByGod goes, well, I don't want to kill that Sandstorm Titan, or he thinks, oh, I don't want to kill that Sandstorm Titan, and I don't want my Waystone Infuser torched. Like, there's a lot of maybe just getting in 5 damage is enough, and then he draws like a torch and an obliterate. So I really like that Toth is just trying to get in a little bit of cheeky damage.
I mean, I honestly think it's I think it's a little simpler than that, right? I think it's just Toth trying to get his flyers to be relevant, because worst case BruisedByGod always had the option of just chump blocking with the Temple Scribe, right? So there was never you never really had to worry about that 5 points of damage actually getting through at any point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I think it's both. Like if for some reason.
Sure.
I'm just thinking about every outcome of attacking. But yeah, correct. Yeah. The thing that he's playing around is being able to draw flyers, because that's his big out, is just being able to block with these Dawnwalkers and recur them while hitting BruisedByGod in the air.
Yeah, we see that 5/9 Waystone Infuser. Gonna be able to block most things. BruisedByGod also having 2 Death Strikes in hand. It's Toth's gonna have a hard time getting out of this, I think.
Purify only used on units, cannot hit BruisedByGod in the face.
I don't I don't know if I like
that block.
No. Because especially when you have champion sitting in your hand and you're 1 power away, 1 influence away.
I agree. I would just Temple Scribe.
Just chump. Yeah. There's no reason to make Soulfire Drake a real card. Whereas right now in this board state, it's just not a real card in any sort of imagination. And I know you have your own Sandstorm Titan, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd rather have multiple Sandstorm Titans on the board to make sure that I don't get just cheesed out of the game.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think Temple Scribe is really low value here, and it's totally fine to just take a turn, just sacrifice 1 and wait another turn out.
Yeah, so I guess now you can leave up. You can either play the Sandstorm Titan or leave up Death Strike. I kind of like just playing the Sandstorm Titan, because then you have the line of just Death Striking 2 things next turn and just alphaing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a risky alpha, but odds are they're going to have to chump with some of their Dawnwalkers, because there is enough, assuming that the Sandstorm Titan got played. Yeah, that would have been enough. That would be enough for lethal. So chumps would have to be made, especially if you Death Strike the 2 Heart of the Vaults.
Yeah, and then if that happens, those Dawnwalkers don't come back because of Steward. So it'd be pretty difficult for Toth to do anything.
All right, so here we're going to see Carnosaur. So leaving up Death Strike going to work out pretty well in this scenario, but I mean, there's nothing he can really kill that really matters, right? Is the Waystone Infuser really doing that much right now? I think you.
Well,
I think it
will keep him off power for another turn.
That is true. Yeah, I think, and the fact that Carnosaur is a 6/6, I think it's fine just going ahead and Death Striking there. Yeah. All right. So I probably would have Death Strike, but I guess maybe they're hoping for the alpha here. However, leaving a 6/6 that could then attack back on the that could crack back after an alpha seems a little weird. But I think you just end up developing, just play out a shit ton of champion mysteries and just win in a single swing. I like that plan too.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you about the about Death Striking. Because I'm not sure what BruisedByGod is waiting for, but the thing is that he has the luxury to wait for whatever he wants to, because he's in such a commanding position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you say that, and then just
Soulfire Drake.
Well, Soulfire Drake, and then an Obliterate, just 2 Obliterates. I know we've already seen 1 Obliterate, but there's still 2 floating around in the deck. I don't know, or an Obliterate, 2 Torches. Have we seen? We haven't seen any Torches.
Yeah, I suppose that the Death Strike is just being safe for Soulfire Drake, because I realize now with the Steward out, Drake wouldn't do anything, but now it will, because Steward's dead.
Well, you just play the second Steward.
Yeah, that's true.
But let's. I mean, realistically, this game is over as soon as another Shadow Influence happens.
Oh yeah, that is a that's gonna do a lot.
Actually, the more that oh man, yeah. Actually, I was just about to say the more that I was thinking about it, I think you suicide this INN a few turns ago just to get to 15, because the difference between I mean the difference between 12 and 13 is a million miles, right?
Oh yeah, and that plays Obliterate absolutely. However, he's only playing 3 Obliterate. And has Toth used any? Oh yeah, he's used one.
He's used one,
so he has to drop both.
So it's not likely, but it's a thing, right? Ooh.
Oh, and that's a big deal right there.
But we have both Annihilate and Death Strike up.
Yeah.
So you can Annihilate and then follow up with Steward of the Past, which is going to completely blank that. And it doesn't really matter because you're swinging for 14 next turn. That's unblockable.
And you draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not particularly worried about that silence. I think you're okay to play Steward of the Past, right?
So potentially
it might be greedy. Then
if Toth had not a power in his hand, it was like obliterate that he just drew, then you'd be dead. Death Strike wouldn't do anything there, so it would be safe to do that. And then if it is Drake and something else, well. Neither of those add up. No combination of Drake and anything adds up to 12. So, yeah, you're safe for a turn at least.
Yeah, and that way it would have been a guaranteed answer to this Dawnwalker. Granted, Toth not pulling anything to actually turn the Dawnwalker on, or like to trigger the Dawnwalker to come back. But, I don't know. Just something to make sure that it was like done with. I still kind of like just killing that Groundbreaker and just getting in for 3. Like, it's just 12 seems so... Like, it's unlikely. It's incredibly unlikely, but it just seems very risky.
Yeah, I agree. It's just it would take a lot for Toth to be able to get out of this. Like we're just approaching the point. We're at the point really where just BruisedByGod can just swing, and every single time he does, Toth loses so much.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's dead on board. Right?
With the Death Strikes?
Given with the 2 Death Strikes? Yeah.
If that other champion...
all 4 champions.
All 4. If the other champion hadn't been silenced, he would just be dead from the champions. But, you know, BruisedByGod loves drawing cards. So that's what we're going to do.
I mean, if you got it, flaunt it, right?
I mean, I love drawing cards too. I don't know if I haven't done the math. I just looked. There's a lot of numbers, so I'm pretty sure he's dead. Toth also agrees.
And
so that's going to be 2-0 for is that correct?
No. Was it 2-0? I thought we did 3 games. Did we only do 2 games?
It definitely felt like 3.
It is 2-0. It is 2-0. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, so that's 2-0 for BruisedByGod.
So that was excellent. So I think we're going to be checking on some backup matches. Not entirely sure we will have anything, but that'll be the last round, potentially last match before the top 8. We've been moving through today like crazy. Everybody's been playing real fast. All those Chalice decks, I guess, getting shut down nice and quick. But yeah, excellent. I'm a little bit more intrigued by BruisedByGod's deck.
Yeah, I actually really like.
It seemed fun.
Like I said before, BruisedByGod always an innovator. Like he's always bringing something new and interesting. Maybe not tuned perfectly, but he like very usually a very good meta call. Like he started the Argenport trend, I think. He wasn't the first person to play Argenport. Like everyone's done that before. Yeah. But before Tavrod, he was the first person to find success with a mid-range Argenport list in the ETS.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's done that with a couple other lists as well. And I really like where the Xenon deck is. I think it's a really cool call in the meta. Obviously, it is weak to aggro decks, I think. Compared to some other decks. But I think that's what you got to do. You got to accept that you're going to be bad against. You're going to have bad matchups. You're going to have good matchups, and you want to attack the meta based on that. And I think he's done an excellent job here.
For sure. Well, congratulations again to BruisedByGod and also Toth. Both excellent play. Like I think Toth played excellently. I think across all 3. So But yeah, so we did get word there will be no other backups, unfortunately. However, that means that we'll be able to get to the top 8 nice and quick. So we're going to get all of our crap together and take a little bit of a break, and then we will be back with the top 8 here in just a little bit.